Last night on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the Fan Cave. Thank you very much, Ken Rice. And we are here for the next 25 minutes talking sports with you at 412-575-2600. You can also hit us up on Twitter at KDPomp, at the Pony Express. Andrew Fillipponi up at 93.7 The Fan on what's turned out to be a pretty busy night. I want to get into the Pirate news first because didn't expect to see this, although now I understand why Ben Cherington the other day talked about why they expect Henry Davis to catch in 2024. Turns out Endy Rodriguez about a month ago, as we take a look at our GMC Sierra tweet of the night, he was playing winter ball in the Dominican Republic and Rodriguez injured himself while batting. Multiple examinations followed. He had reconstructive surgery on his UCL and repair of a flexor tendon. So he's expected to miss the entire season, 12 months likely the recovery time. And boy, this is a big blow for a team that counted on him to be a big part of it. And then they go out and sign Rowdy Tellez, which we'll get to in a second. But Andrew, this is a big blow. And now you're going to see why they made that statement that Henry Davis will catch more in 2024.
Yeah, really just a shock to the system for Pirates fans who were already, I think, in a sour mood because this has been a pretty quiet start to free agency, and the moves they've made have been of the discount clearance variety. I'm stunned that a move, that an injury like this, such a significant one, was kept under wraps for so long, that it went a month, and no local baseball insiders or national baseball insiders were able to figure this out, that there was a serious injury to a very important young player. I also, Bob, have questions, and I have had nobody from the Pirates explain this to me, but maybe you've heard, why was he even playing winter ball?
Good question. I don't know why. I mean, a lot of those guys do, but I don't think he had to do it for any specific reason. He had a pretty good season.
I mean, I would think you'd want to get a catcher off his legs.
Yeah.
You know, he's squatting so much during the season, you're going to have to depend on him and count on him so much next year, where it's his first full season in the major leagues, and he plays such a premium position. You want him out there as much as you can. So I would think rest after the season would have been the best way to go. Now that's, hindsight on my part, because I didn't even know he was playing winter ball until I found out about this horrible injury tonight. So it's just a huge downer. After O'Neal Cruz, this was the guy I was the most excited about, Bob. And to your point about Henry Davis, all right, Pirates, you drafted him #1 in the draft to be a catcher. So let's see it happen now. There's no excuse, with all the time we have to get ready for next season, why this guy can't be your opening day starter at catcher.
Yeah, I think it's automatic. He has to be, and that's why you drafted him. Exactly. First overall, you knew you had to get more than just a bat. He was a catcher. They need catchers, and they acquired him, so now play him, and we'll see what he has. And for whatever reason last year, they were apprehensive to do so, and I know they wanted to catch Rodriguez. All right, we're going to take a break, come back with more. We'll talk about the Penguins, who got a big night on the special teams tonight, and they broke a drought, and the Steelers. A lot of interesting stuff going on there. With the concussion guys back in practice today, Andrew and I will kick it. Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi at your service here tonight, talking about the Penguins who won. And they got a power play goal just over a minute into this game. They got another after that by Jeff Carter, who's in front of the net, causing some problems. I like to see that. Big night for him with a power play goal and a shorthanded goal. 2, they win that game. And quite frankly, they need all the points they can get. They're stuck in 7th place, and they got games coming up at Montreal, Toronto on the road, Andrew. They got to start doing this because Arizona's a young team. They got a lot of talent, but they're not ready to compete, I don't think, with the Penguins, and they took advantage. Pittsburgh's beaten them now 11 straight games.
Yeah, different Arizona team. Jason Zucker, Cooley, obviously, what a awesome story that is to see. Bukestad, yeah, I forgot about him. He was a former Penguin for a brief amount of time. That's when Jim Rutherford used to just wheel and deal. I love that about Jimmy. And he's doing a great job in Vancouver right now. They're one of the more surprising teams in the NHL so far this season.
Yeah.
Bob, they're 12-12-5. We're a third of the way through the season. I said this at the quarter poll. I'll say it again. Now for a season and a third, they are a below 500 team. They are losing more games than they're winning. And that's a long time to be a largely below average team. And just, I was struck this week by Dubas's comments and Sullivan today. There seems to be a hunky-dory kumbaya factor where they think everything is going to work out for them. They're not alarmed in the least by what's going on. So, hey, good for them. I can tell them that's not their fan base's sense of things. I would have wanted more of a sense of urgency from the people that run the Penguins right now, and I didn't hear that in the last 2 days.
But they do have a lot of injuries, and they're playing a lot of guys. We'll see how this goes once they all get back. They need Raquel, they need Russ, they need Achari, they need all these guys who are out with injury, Nieto. So in the meantime, get points when you can, and this was a good opportunity. They took advantage of it. Let's go to the lines. A lot of people want to talk here. We'll begin with Joe in Mount Lebanon. Joe, welcome to the program. You're our #1 Cochrane Go One Better caller of the night. Go ahead.
How you guys doing tonight?
Good, thanks.
Good. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Bob. And Andrew. This nutting, he'll never change. He's out there signing this to leave. He'd have trouble hitting 25 home runs in the Little League field anymore. The guy's out of shape. He weighs 320 pounds, and he wants him to play first base defensively. He could have brought back Santana for a couple more dollars and have a decent fielding first baseman and a guy who's going to hit better than Talib.
Well, listen, again, it's $3.2 million. In the scope of things for baseball, that's not all that much. The Pirates continue to go for those kind of bargains, and it is what it is. We'll see what he can do, but if he can't play good first base and he struggles to hit home runs, then they're gonna have to rethink that probably season it. I don't know what to say about it because it's not the signing I wanted to see. But we talked about that. Let's move on, Andrew. We have Jim in Green Tree. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Hey, Bob, how you doing? Hi, Flip. Hey, Bob,
Hey.
I got to say one thing. The Penguins may make the playoffs. Tristan Jarrett's playing a little bit better. He's not giving up too many goals in a game. Just that one game he gave up 3-1. And the Steelers, they should have drafted Flacco when they had the chance.
Well, Flacco's back. He was retired. He's back. Although I will say that the way he came off the couch and played, Andrew, is pretty incredible. And he's thrown some interceptions. But that first drive last week in that game against Jacksonville, he was smooth, good play calling, set up things, play action, 4 for 4 for 60-some yards in that first drive. He had a touchdown and Njoku, 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks. You can argue that there are a lot of teams right now that would say, yeah, I'll take Flacco. And by the way, I just want to get this out too as you talk about that. Belichick looks like he will be done at the end of this year. There's a report that came out tonight, and it looks like the Jets, I don't know if this is true or not, want to trade Zach Wilson and told him he will be moved in the offseason.
Well, on the Belichick thing, we all assumed this would happen. They'd come up with some way to phrase it so it doesn't look like a firing, and he'll land on his feet and coach somewhere else next year and try to run down Don Shula for the most wins all time. I thought after watching Zach Wilson on Sunday against the Texans, and the Steelers needed that win from the Jets, best he looked all year, threw for over 300 yards. I think a team is going to sign him to be a backup and see if he can develop with no pressure on him and get him in a change of scenery deal. Because I do think that there's some talent to mine there. His head is just in the wrong place. And then lastly on the Flacco thing, Bob, the Steelers could sign him right now. He is on the Browns practice squad. I would attempt to do that just to put pressure on the Browns and screw with them. The Steelers need another quarterback. They don't. Trace McSorley doesn't count. Sorry, Hannah. I would do something, right? Wouldn't you, Bob? Why not mess with the Browns and try to get Flacco here?
Well,
he's a free agent technically.
But technically, wouldn't he would have the right to tell you how much he wants too, doesn't he?
Okay, make him. You've got salary cap space. Use it all on the guy.
I don't know if I'd do that.
Why not?
Because I think in time things will catch up to him. I don't expect to see 5 touchdowns over 2 games to continue throughout the rest
Bob,
of the season.
then what do the Browns do if you did that? They'd be in a bad place. I'm talking more about screwing them over.
Oh, I know.
And by the way, there's no way Flacco could do worse than Trubisky. No way.
No.
I'm sorry.
That's why I was kind of hoping to see Rudolph this week, but that's not going to happen. He's made it pretty clear.
By the way, did you hear him today? Did you get a fair shot in Pittsburgh? Did you hear his answer on that? He hemmed and hawed and wouldn't say, yes, I got a fair shot.
Just happy to be in the NFL. I don't know. I think they have every opportunity to go to him. And again, I would not be surprised in this game on Saturday if it starts badly that they go to him. And they should go to him at that point. You can't wait too long, and these things are all critical for them. All right, let's go out to Kathy in Oakland. Kathy, what's up?
Hi, Kathy.
question is about T.J. Watt and how many years he has on his contract. And has he ever considered leaving the Steelers when that would end? I'd hate to see him miss out on a playoff game or going to a Super Bowl. As poorly as the Steelers have been this year, I'd hate to see him lift out of that opportunity.
So I guess she's asking, would he leave? He can't leave until the end of the contract, and I don't think anything's going to happen until then. And by then, what age will he be, Andrew? 31?
He'd be in his early 30s, yeah.
No, so I don't see any of that happening. I think that he wants to be here. They need to get in there and give him an opportunity to do something in the postseason, and that's what they're all looking for, and not implode like defenses before him have imploded. Let's squeeze in one more. We got Chuck in Cannonsburg. Chuck, go ahead, please.
Hey, Chuck.
I'd like to know why Kenny Pickett wears gloves. Do you know why?
He always
Small
has. But he always has, hasn't he? I mean, I don't.
Yeah. Well, he did his last year at Pitt and had great success, and he has small. I mean, I'm not making fun of him. I love Kenny. Everybody knows that, but he's got smaller hands. It helps him. Yeah, most quarterbacks are not going to do that on both hands, and I don't know. Bottom line is, if he's comfortable with it and he can throw the ball, fine. That's just his preference, and I don't think it's a big deal. I'll tell you what, Bob. You know who's the opposite? I don't know if you saw him at the Heisman ceremony. That Michael Penix has some of the biggest hands I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah, for a smaller guy too.
And he is, and he has a grip, and you can tell it how he engulfs the entire ball with those hands. It's pretty amazing.
That was my Heisman vote, by the way. I'll let the cat out of the bag. I voted him first. I did not have Daniels one.
I wouldn't argue with that. I think they're both good choices, but somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. It was going to be that. By the way, Hannah Mears, who was there covering for the Big Ten Network, did a great job. She's producing here tonight, so I'm going to give her a shout out. She did a very good job covering that stuff for the Big Ten Network. And we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll try to squeeze Randy and Brad in next, right here on the Ireland Contract. See Rich in Altoona, who's next up. Andrew, what's up, Rich?
Hey, Rich.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. You know what? I feel bad for you guys because every year you got to talk the same thing about the Pirates. Wash, rinse, repeat. Nothing's going to change. And as far as reclamation projects go, Al Davis was the only one that did it right in the heyday of the Raiders. Thanks, guys.
Well, the Pirates got a couple of them right, too, along the way. But I get what you're saying. How many 5-year plans can there be? This is going to be another year gone by, probably. And when you see what the Dodgers are up to, you know that it's just going to be tough to watch, I think. And can they compete for a wild card? Can they win a division? They don't have enough pitching for me, Andrew. They need to go out and spend some serious money on good pitching and not just Marco Gonzalez's of the world.
Yeah, it's Cherington's followed the same blueprint every year. Get a lefty who can log a lot of innings but doesn't throw hard, and then find literally the heaviest human being you can find to play first base / DH. I'm serious. And he's done that every offseason here, and they've been 1-year contracts, and the guys have gotten flipped.
I know. It's the same kind of thing, and it makes you wonder. And you hope O'Neal Cruz is able to do it. And now we're going to get a good look at Henry Davis at home plate. At least that will happen. So you'll have something to gauge there. As far as the rest of the...
And when are we going to see Paul Skeens, Bob?
Well, see, I don't think...
Are we going to see him before Memorial Day?
I doubt it. What do you think? I doubt it.
Me too.
I think they're just going
Even though he's probably their best starting pitcher right now.
Well, if he is, then he should be on the roster right at the beginning of the season. He should be up here, should be opening day starter if he's that good. If you're serious about doing something, do it now. Don't wait. There are a lot of teams in the Major League Baseball who have young kids who come up and they feel like they're ready. Go ahead. But they won't, because we've seen that as well. Pony, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas, Bob.
We still have time for that, but Merry Christmas, Pony. Have a good night. We'll talk to you again next week. In the meantime, we're back here at 10:35 tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again then. Good night.